What was the big rumor in your high school did turn out to be true. Athletics coordinator was fudging documents on kids' addresses so they would be able to go to our school instead of others in the district. We won like 5 state championships that year. When I was a freshman, some seniors were counterfeiting money. This was around 2004-05. They made some pretty convincing bills and spent them around town, including the school cafeteria. That year I learned that the Secret Service has a counterfeit investigations department. Dr. Palermo, the band teacher, never received his doctorate in music like he claimed. It was weird. He used to force all his students to address him as Doctor, but when he came back from his leave of absence we all called him by Mr., like nothing happened. That the English teacher had been sleeping with students. I found out when I was a freshman in 2008. Fast forward 8 years later. The chemistry teacher got caught and decided to bring the English teacher down with him to get some heat off his back. A total of 3 teachers went to jail. That one of the English teachers used to physically assault kids. No one believed it because he was elderly and very kind. One day he told our class that back in the 80s when he was teaching, any time a kid got mouthy or started a fight in his classroom, he would pick them up physically and throw them out of his class. He gave a kid a concussion once because he bounced his head off a locker. They sent him to anger management classes, but he stayed teaching at the school until his retirement. Not nearly as exciting as some of the replies. But at my old high school I was always told that if you go to school after dark, in certain conditions you'd see a bunch of swastikas painted on the brick walls of the building. I thought it was fake BC. If they're really painted on there, why can't you see them at all times? One night I stayed late for an art club meeting. We were studying photo exposure and playing with some light tubes to make cool pictures. So we were having the meeting outside in the dark. As we were messing around, I approached the building from a certain angle and saw them. IDK if it was spray paint that got scrubbed off and left some kind of residue, chemical on the bricks. Or if someone sprayed them with clear coat or something. But there were very obviously swastikas on the wall. There was an 18-year-old freshman who was pregnant. And there was a joke spread that this was her 4th kid. They said she was first pregnant at 12 years old and that was why she never finished 9th grade. I actually made friends with her because we both walked the mile in P. And I felt bad that people were spreading this rumor and making fun of someone who obviously is trying to better themselves for their baby. Well, turns out, it was actually her 5th kid. She had one set of twins at the age of 13. Then at 14 she was trying to be a mother of 2 and finish 9th grade. But she got pregnant again and dropped out. I realize now that the entire situation was very concerning. I hope she got some guidance. That a new student was actually a police officer. He was, and the idiots were busted for selling drugs. That an English teacher was using heroin. It's pretty sad actually. He was just a regular guy who destroyed his knee. So after surgery he got painkillers. Got hooked on them. And then eventually started using heroin. Nobody really believed it until he abruptly went on leave. He was gone for most of the school year, and when he eventually got sober and came back, he told his story to the students to try to show them how dangerous that stuff is. And confirmed everything to be true. On a ski trip, the phys ed teacher allegedly porked the science teacher. Someone saw him go into her room in the middle of the night. They denied it, but years later they got married. There were rumors for years about some of the younger male teachers and female students. Some of the teachers ended up leaving, never to be spoken of again. Others stuck around. But nothing was ever substantiated. Then while my class was on our senior trip, the music teacher got arrested. Then 2 more teachers the following year. Then several years went by and the school abruptly announced it was shutting down for financial reasons, 2 weeks before the end of the school year. The week after it closed for good, another teacher got arrested. So yeah, I'd say the rumors turned out to be true. The big rumor wasn't about my high school but a school on the east side of town. The rumor was, a bunch of girls were running a prostitution ring out of the school. It turns out it was true. PD went undercover and busted about a dozen girls. That a teacher was sleeping with students. Turned out to be the AP US history teacher. He was caught. And later fired. That our science teacher was kind of a creep. I always thought he was nice. Years later he was fired and arrested for aggravated child porn. At my high school 2 kids who were cousins were dating. They always denied it but a lot of people still believed it. They did look weirdly similar. But a lot of people just chalked it up to coincidence. About a year later they broke up and totally stopped interacting. Rumors started that their parents got involved or found out and shut it down. And it was again left to speculation. At our 5-year reunion somebody who knew their family said that it turned out the rumor about them being cousins wasn't true. They were half-siblings and didn't even know until their parents put it together one day. So kind of true?